I'm Mariana, and I'm making this video because yesterday I gave someone a knitting lesson, and we decided it would be helpful for her to have a little video to review in order to hear the exact language that I used when I was showing her how to knit. We just did the basic knitting stitch, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So we start with our knitting in our left hand. And inserting the needle in the front, so we call this going through the front door, and then we take the yarn and wrap it around the right hand needle coming from the back to the front. We call that going around the house. And then we next go back out, bending over that piece of yarn that you just put on there. So your needle is going over that, and then it's coming up under the stitch on the left needle, and we call that going out the front door. And then all you do is simply lift that stitch off the needle. So I'm going to do that again. Go in the front door, go around the house, go back out the front door, off. As we're doing this, the stitches in the left are going to have to be gently eased up the needle. Eventually the stitches on the right are going to need to be gently eased down the needle. So we hold the stitches very lightly in the left hand so that we don't have a tight grip that we have to struggle to get them off the needle. So just gently rest them in the left hand, and then every now and then use your thumb to ease it up. So again, in the front door, around the house, back out the front door, and off. Okay? In the front door, around the house, back out the front door, and off. So one, front door, around, out the front door, off. In the front door, 1, 2, around, 3, out the front door, 4, off. In the front door, 1, 2, 2 around, 3, out the front door, 4, off. In the front door, around, out the front door, off. 1 in, 2 around, 3 out, 4 off. 1 in, 2 around, 3 out, 4 off. 1 in, 2 around, 3 out, 4 off. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you get to the end of the row, you simply turn your needles so that your old stitches, the stitches you just knit, are now all your old stitches. They were in your right hand. You're just moving them to the left hand. Then get the now empty needle and move that into your right hand. If you're using circular needles, you might want to stop for a second and just make sure you've got the yarn at the top of the needle. If you put it down for a while, you may let it slide down to the bottom. So the yarn is at the top of the needle. Now, another thing that it may be confusing to a beginning knitter is you may have a little tail, and the longer you knit, the further that's going to be away, so there'll be eventually no temptation to knit that little tail end. But until then, either clip it off about here or just hold it down when you get your row started. Okay, so all you're just doing the same thing a second time. One of the things I've noticed happens is a lot of times what had been the last stitch on the needle is a little loose, so a beginner might pick up an extra stitch there. They might not know quite what to do with that stitch. Another thing I've seen people do when they're first starting off a new row is insert the needle in the wrong place underneath the stitch, basically. So you want to make sure that when you do this, you've just got it going under one strand of yarn right there. And that's all there is to it. Other than that, you're knitting now. So again, it's going in through the front door, around the house, out through the front door, off. So 1, in through the front door, around the house, 2, out the front door, 3, off, 4, 1, in, 2, around, 3, out, 4, off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to do one last stitch very slowly.